Hello Data Pros, welcome back to another exciting video in our DBT series. In our last video, we got familiar with DBT Jinja and how it can be practically used in real-world projects. Now, let's take the next step and explore macros in more depth. In DBT, a macro is a piece of code written in SQL and Jinja that performs a specific task. It works much like functions in other well-known programming languages. Macros are great for encapsulating complex logic or reusing a particular code block across multiple models. Before we explore real-world project use cases, let's understand how macros work in DBT using a simple example. The model we're looking at uses the Fahrenheit to Celsius temperature conversion formula and also rounds the results to one decimal place. Let's say we'll need to use this formula in multiple models throughout our project. We could probably consider creating this as a macro and reusing it across the models. Macros are defined in SQL files in the macros directory. They start and end with the macro Jinja tags. Each macro has a unique name that should be used to refer to it in your models. Macros can also accept parameters from the calling models. We can optionally set a default value for a parameter in a macro. When the default is set, even if the calling model does not pass the parameter, the macro will still work with the default value. The core logic of the macro is written in the middle. Let's now modify the model to utilize this macro. When I compile this code, I could verify that it generates the same SQL that we originally had. Let's go ahead and execute the code. All works as expected. As you can see, we did not pass any decimal places to the macro, so the default decimal places were used. If I pass 2, then the results will change accordingly. Please note, unlike functions in other popular languages, we do not have explicit return keyword. So whatever the DBT compiled result of the Jinja and the SQL code will be completely returned to the calling program. That's how we got this piece of code in the compiled SQL. To understand more about how Jinja code gets compiled and rendered, please refer to the DBT Jinja video link in the description. Now that we understood how macro works, let's move on to a real-world project use case. Let's consider a table named Sales US. Our project requirement involves using this table as the source, calculating the total revenue, total cost, and total profit for each date, and loading the computed results into a new aggregated table. Based on our learning from our earlier videos, we could simply create a model in DBT and configure the target schema and materialization in the YAML file. When I run this model, the required profit US table gets created in my Snowflake data warehouse. However, what if you have 10 separate tables that follow the same table structure? And you're asked to create corresponding profit models for each of those. Would you repeat this logic in 10 different DBT models? And what if my profit table requirements evolve, leading to future change requests? That's where macros come to the rescue. Instead of repeating the same logic in multiple places, we can standardize it into a single macro. Let's do it! While you can create another MacroSQL file inside the macro folder, I'd like to show you that you can actually define multiple macros within the same file. This macro dynamically generates the SQL codes based on the table name parameter passed to it. After moving the entire logic to a macro, our model file now only needs to call the macro with the right table name. Let's compile and validate the generated code for this model. As expected, this generated code matches the original code we had. Just like the Profit US model, we should create models for the remaining countries as well. For the purpose of this demo, I'll create just 2 more models. With this standard approach, we avoid code repetition across multiple models, and future changes become easier since we only need to change the logic in one place. Moreover, if you want to include a new region or country, it's as simple as creating a model file with just one line. While you might be tempted to create a single SQL file for all these tables, please remember that DBT doesn't support creating multiple tables with a single model. Each DBT model file will always result in the creation of a single object in your data warehouse. Now, let's go ahead and run these models. The execution has been completed successfully, and now we'll validate the target tables created in our data warehouse. Everything looks perfect. That's all I've for today. Please stay tuned for our next video, where we'll deep dive into DBT packages. Please do like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you've any questions or thoughts, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.